Good morning, fourth graders. So today we're still working on that story, My Rotten Redheaded Older Brother. Did you like it? Could you relate to it? Are some of you finding your older brothers right now because you guys spend a lot more time with them? Are they rotten? Yeah? Okay. Well, I don't know. I was the oldest, so I never had an older brother. So today we're going to talk about figurative language, and I thought maybe you needed a review today of what that was. So remember, figurative language is when the words that are spoken mean something other than their literal meaning, okay? So remember today, because I am taping this the day before, and so today's Wednesday, and it rained, and it rained, and it rained. So the idiom is, it's raining cats and dogs, right? Well, do I literally mean that dogs and cats are falling out of the sky? Well, no. What I mean is it rained heavily and it rained a lot, right? So let's talk about the 5 that we've been talking about this year, okay? So the first one is a simile. Remember, a simile, okay, is figurative language that compares two things with, like, or as, and we're going to underline those, like or as, okay? So when I'm doing a simile can say that Mrs. Helton was as busy as a bee last week, because that's how I felt. I was busy about running here, running there, busy as a bee. Now, did I change to a bee? Did I grow wings? Was I flying? No, so what does that mean? Mrs. Houghton was as busy as a bee. Oh, yeah. All it means was I was just extremely busy and maybe felt just a little bit overwhelmed because I was so busy. Right? Okay. How about metaphor? So how is simile then different than a metaphor? Well, you know what? It's not that much different. It compares two things. But it uses with more like is, or was, or were. Remember in my class we said that this one was a little bit more serious. This one's kind of fun. Like or as, simply like a smile. Metaphor was more serious. Metaphor. Okay, I would put my hands on the hips. Metaphor. Okay. Evie's heart is made of gold. Now, Evie, did Evie's heart change to gold? Like, now it's literally made out of gold? Is her heart all of a sudden very heavy? Because gold's heavy. I don't know, can a gold heart beat? Uh-oh, something wrong with Evie. So that's not what it means, right? If I say Evie's heart is made of gold. I know somebody in our building this week that hearts are made of gold. Miss Angie and Miss Rita's hearts, the secretaries, they help us out all the time, don't they? Well, it's Secretaries Week. Are their hearts made of gold? Yeah, they are. They are made of gold. But they're still with us, aren't they? They're not kind of leaning over because their hearts are heavy, right? Just means that they're wonderful people who care about everyone else, right? Hey, by the way, if you got time, see if you can send them a little email or something. We didn't get to make any posters or anything. See if you can send them a Happy Secretary's Day little note. Miss Angie and Miss Rita. We'll include their email addresses in this, okay? All right. Next one. Personification. In my class, we kind of did the robot. Personification. Okay? Personification is when an object or animal acts like a human. The stars, hopefully maybe to not Wednesday night, but maybe Thursday night. The stars danced in the sky. I don't know how much you know about science, but the last time I remember that our sun was a star and it's made up of gases. Can gases dance? So what does that mean? The stars danced in the sky. When I think of stars dancing in the sky, it's kind of when maybe there's a meteor shower. And you can see like the comets or meteors flying in the sky. Or the stars are just kind of twinkling and they look like they're kind of dancing around, right? So, but can stars really dance? Can gases really dance? Automatopoeia. Okay. Automatopoeia, right? So, automatopoeia, that's an easy one, right? Automatopoeia is a sound word. Boomed, crashed, banged. Okay, I don't know about Neosho, but in Joplin, there was a lot of booms today, a lot of crashes today because of the thunder, the claps of thunder. Okay, so automatopoeia is a sound word. Boom, crash, bang. Okay, idiom. Okay, idiom is, I kind of like to describe it as like an old-fashioned saying. My grandmother, now they called her Grandma Jenny, she spoke in a lot of idioms and a lot of phrases that not everyone understood, okay? One be the one we kind of started this lesson with. It's raining cats and dogs. I don't literally mean there's dogs and cats outside, okay? So it's having an expression of a phrase that doesn't really mean that. It means something else. But it doesn't follow any of these other ones. It doesn't have like or as. It does not comparing two things. It's just an old-fashioned saying that they used to say to help people understand something. The one I've been saying lately, just because sometimes making these videos and stuff isn't the funnest thing to do. You know, the funnest thing to do is actually get to teach you guys in the classroom. So I can see your smiles when you get something, or your frowns when you're like, I really don't get that. Okay? So the one I've been saying lately is to bite the head off the frog. And my husband's like, what does that mean? Bite the head off a frog. You already, because we have the Lake Hilton. Remember, we talked about that before? Okay? It's really not supposed to be there. Our backyard is flooded because of some reasons. And it has stayed flooded for now over a year. It's never dried up. So now we have some frogs. Okay? And my husband are like, you're literally going to go outside and bite the head of a frog? I'm like, no, that's not what that means. It's an idiom. He's like, what? It means to do the things you don't want to do first and get it over with. Okay? It's like some of you, I kind of can tell that you don't want to do some of that math or maybe our ELA question first thing in the morning. You want to play some games first. You want to play your Xbox. You want to get onto Nick Jr. You want to get onto Nickelodeon and watch some cartoons. You want to watch some SpongeBob. Well, biting the head off a frog means doing that thing that you really don't want to do first and get it over with. That way it's done. Okay? So now we're going to look at our story. And yes, you can tell that my family has popped up a little bit. I gotta go back to the beginning of the book. Slid on me, I'm telling you, when we're doing this. So what I want you to do is on that one that we sent to you on Wednesday, I want you to find the one of that. So I'm on that page where the redheaded older brother is holding Patricia's doll in the air, being rotten. So now I knew that she loved me all right, but I couldn't quite understand how she could even like my older brother Richard. He had orange hair that was like a wire. He was covered in freckles and looked like a weasel with glasses. The one thing that my Bobby didn't seem to know was how perfectly awful my brother really was. Mind you, he was always nice whenever she was around us. But as soon as she'd leave, he would do some thing terrible to me and laugh. Did you hear any? I heard two on that page. He had orange hair that was like wire. Did his hair change to wire? Did it change to wire? Does he now have orange wire coming from his... I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I could bend it and twist it any way I wanted it, right? No, that's not what it means. He had orange hair that was like wire. So, let's think about what kind it was. Simile. He had orange hair that was like wire. Do you see that word? I see it. Like. So, remember simile, like a smile. I'm comparing his orange hair and then compare... Like is my middle word, just like my nose. Wire. His hair was like wire. What could that mean? Hair like wire. Well, wire's kind of coarse, right? And sometimes wire can get all crazy. And if you look at the picture, his hair is like sticking up and it's all kind of like crazy. So, I can say, one, this is a simile. And remember, his name's Richard. Remember, if I'm going to write an answer, I'm going to write my answer with the character's name. Richard's hair is coarse and wild. Okay? So I found another one on that same page. Now I did ... at the end because I didn't copy the whole sentence. And just like in green, you can see I went ... again. I didn't copy that whole sentence. Looked like a weasel with glasses. Did you hear that word? I heard it. Okay, again, we have what? Like. Okay, so again, we have a simile. Now, the he's at the beginning of this sentence, so that we know that Richard, with his glasses on, looks like a weasel. Did he turn into a weasel? No. Patricia doesn't have that kind of magic. Maybe he looks sneaky? You think maybe Richard's sneaky? Weasels can be sneaky. he was always playing tricks on her. Does that might feel a little sneaky? So I'm gonna think here that Richard was sneaky to his sister. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the page where their babushka is slicing that rhubarb pie. Okay. That's kind of after they had that rhubarb bet. You remember the rhubarb bet that Patricia had? Yeah, she wasn't too happy about that. So we're gonna try this technology to work. I don't know why I won't fast forward. That's not what I want. Hit stop. So this is the page that Babusha is cutting the rhubarb pie. Okay. That night at dinner, I could hardly eat. Have you been eating angry apples again, child? Bobby asked as she sliced me a huge web of rhubarb pie. I baked your favorite. Richard gave me one of his extra rotten, weasel-eyed, green-toothed greens. Richard gave me, oops, my hand got in the way. That happens to me in class too, doesn't it? Richard gave me one of his extra rotten, weasel-eyed, greeny-toothed grins. So while Babushka's cutting the rhubarb pie, Richard's turned into a weasel and he's got green teeth? That's what that means, huh? Again, I don't think Babushka's got that kind of magic, do you? Weasel-eyed, greeny-toothy grins. I think this one's a little bit harder, don't you? Okay, let's look. Simile. Like or as. I don't see one. Do you? Do you see a like or an as? No. Gave me one of his extra rotten, weasel-eyed, greeny-toothed grins. Is it a metaphor? Well, we are kind of still comparing Richard to a weasel, right? Or we're comparing like Richard to like a greeny tooth, like kind of monster, even though it doesn't say monster, right? So I'm gonna go with metaphor. I never heard my grandma say weasel-eyed, greeny-toothy grins. So what does this mean? Richard gave me one of his extra rotten, weaselly-eyed, greeny-toothy grins. Huh. You know what? I bet there was times that I was thought of as the rotten older sister. You know, it's kind of when that older sibling gives you that grin like, I'm right and you're wrong. Right? Have you ever had one of those? Or when that older brother, older sister gives you that, I won and you lost kind of grins, right? Richard gave his sister a grin that showed he was right more smarter than his sister. All right. What I want you to do now is I want you to go back into that story. Try to find one on YouTube that is like the one I've been showing you that has a little bit better of the pictures of the book. These are the three that I found. I didn't find that much figurative language, which is unusual for Patricia. Patricia Palasko usually adds a lot of figurative language in her book. Now, I'm gonna have a teacher challenge for you. Can you prove me wrong? Is there more than that in the story and I'm just not seeing it because I've been as busy as a bee? All right. Have a good day. Enjoy your Thursday. Bye, guys.